Yo, this encounter is absolutely wild. I want to know what your take on it is. Uh, the channel that I found this on is The Voice of Battle.
Jamie, pull that video up.
Look at this shit. Oh! 2, 3,
My gun!
Drive, Uncle! Uncle, drive!
Can't tell
4,
it go,
5,
Drive, fucking! Uncle,
6,
drive! Drive, Uncle!
7.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Uncle,
Oh my
drive!
god! Please,
Drive, Uncle, please!
please, please, please!
Well, you better check yourself for
Please.
holes. Yeah, the 1 through 7, that's me trying to count potentially how many times this dude just got poked up, right? Man, he probably has 7 holes in him. That's wild. And then we have Uncle up here, who is just sitting there being a mouth breather while all of this shit is happening. Now, I don't know what Uncle was thinking. Like, it only would take anybody half a second to be like, oh, they're trying to kill my nephew, right? And Uncle doesn't give a shit about that at all. He's just worried that his car is messed up. I don't know if he thought that if he was going to sit there and talk it out with them and get their insurance and they were going to pay for the damage on his car. Holy shit. By the way, I don't know any of these people's names. We have Uncle and we have Nephew. Let's just let this play out. This is wild.
My car is everything broke, my friend.
Uncle.
My car is everything, bro. Nephew, your life is worthless to me, but my car is everything. My 2022 Honda Civic is everything to me, bro. I don't care about your life. That's wild.
Everything broke.
Uncle, drive fast, Uncle. Drive fast, Uncle.
My friend, everything, my car
Uncle,
is
drive
broke.
fast.
My
I'm gonna pay-
broke, my car. Are they in Italy? Is that where this is at? But look at this, man. He don't even ask Nephew if he's okay. Nephew's bleeding all over the place. Just got stabbed like 7 times.
Uncle.
They're coming.
Hey, take money, Uncle. I'll give you.
Also, Uncle's the worst getaway driver of all time. It looks like he's doing like 12 miles an hour. Holy shit. I wouldn't even be calling him Uncle after that. And we might be getting a piece to the puzzle here. Okay, Nephew whips out a fat sack of cash and was like, I got money. Here, I got money, right?
Money. Don't worry, Uncle. Jamie, pull that video up.
And then once he's given money, he's like, okay, where are we going? Obviously, you're going straight to the police station so Nephew don't get killed. This is just absolutely wild, man. First of all, Nephew already has a knife out. He's not pulling a knife out. He already got a knife out. We don't get the very beginning of this. We don't know if Nephew was chased into the car, right? But damn, this is just absolutely wild. Now, a lot of people in the comments are saying Uncle set him up. Uncle got paid twice. And my goodness, I got to cut in here and say, first of all, if you're out there doing some risky business, which, I mean, that might be the case with Nephew here. He might be living that life out there. And if you are, you got to surround yourself with the right people, man. I mean, if there's someone like Uncle in your life, you got to know about that shit. And you cannot put yourself into a bad situation with Uncle at your side, because this is what you're going to get. These people exist. They will just sit there dumbfounded. I mean, I wonder what Uncle would do if somebody tried to stab him up. Would he just sit there and say, oh, no, oh, my window, oh, no. That's wild. So I totally see why there's a lot of people in the comments section of this talking about how, man, Uncle set him up. Now, at the same time, maybe Uncle is just that dumb with a negative survival score. I don't know. But if that's the case, it's your job to know that about Uncle and to never be put into any sort of situation like this. Man, you got to know the people that roll with you, right? Homeboy here, Nephew, would have been better off calling any Uber driver. Any Uber driver. I mean, half of them are probably strapped, is all I'm saying. A lot of Uber drivers would be defending their car, right? So there's that, okay? Now, what makes me think that nephew here was living that lifestyle? Well, first of all, we have him whipping out the cash at the end, right? It didn't appear as though these robbers are trying to actually rob nephew. They're not trying to run the car. They're not making demands. Get out of the car. Give me all your cash. They're just trying to kill him. They are trying to poke him up. And also, important to note, this is a gang of people, and they are acting with a gang-like mentality. So that tells me that a lot of these gangsters that are trying to get their knife in there and poke nephew up, they're just doing it because they're part of the gang. A lot of these guys might not have any personal beef with nephew at all, but there's at least one or two of these guys that really do, right? How is your gang going to look at you if all of them pull out knives and try to stab somebody and you don't, right? So we get some of these dudes running up, just kind of like sticking their blade into the window to be like, look, I'm doing it too, guys. I'm doing it too. And what I'm going to say about this is it's important to analyze that in case you ever have to deal with something like that. I've had 3 cars roll up on me and block me in, and these dudes were going to try to jump me. I can't even tell you exactly how many of them there were that night. They even brought like 3 or 4 girls to beat down the chick that was with me. And they blocked my car in. I was standing outside of my driver door, and these fools made like a semicircle around my car, and they were talking shit. And I had the hindsight to think about this and be like, well, you know, I'm probably going to have to find my way out of this. So the first one of these fools that comes at me, I'm going to make an example out of them. I remember thinking, I'm going to try to break my hand upside this dude's head. I was watching their feet. I figured the first guy that was going to step in to like swing on me, I was going to try to absolutely annihilate their face. And then I was going to grab them and pull them in and try to use them as somewhat of a meat shield while I put my car in reverse and started smashing into these fools' cars. I probably would have had to run a few of them over. It would have got real nasty. And then the other thought I had was, how am I going to explain this to the police afterwards? There's like 9 of these people here. They're all going to be witnesses saying that I started all this shit somehow. And it's just me and my chick at the time. Now, luckily for me, these fools talked a bunch of shit and they ended up leaving after a while, right? No one ever actually came in to lunge at me. And I think it's because a lot of these fools are cowards, right? None of them wants to be the first one to take that step and actually start the fight, because chances are you might get your face broke if you are the first one going in there. I'm going to try to make an example out of you. The point is, nephew could have done that here. Like the first dude that reaches in here really trying to stab him, nephew could have grabbed his arm, pulled him into that window, and stuck his knife into this dude's neck. Now, the rest of these fools aren't going to be so energetic to get their knife in there once they hear their homie choking on his own blood, right? And that would have put nephew on one side of this and away from the other window. Like that would have been my thinking here. Sometimes, you know, you have to scare these individuals. Sometimes the best way to survive something like this is to be the killer in that moment yourself, because then the rest of these fools that are cowards by nature, they're not going to want to get near you, right? Man, let's just watch this again. This is wild. And that's the other thing. Nephew here sounds scared. You do not want to sound scared, man. If you have to make some fake confidence up, sound sure of yourself. Do not be screaming like a girl, because again, it's like blood in the water. The piranhas are going to come out. That's what these fools are, right? Important to think about that. And then you got Uncle here just not doing shit. Oh, man. So look, it does look like he's taking some swings on somebody on the other window, right? And then you got like 2 or 3 different people coming in here just getting a little stab in.
My grand,
Hey, drive, Uncle! Hey, Uncle, drive!
can you go,
1,
my
2, see?
Drive the fucking...
See, now here's the other thing. This fool opened the door. You notice he ain't hopping in there to actually do the dirt, right? He's got the door open. That's another thing here. How come you didn't have the doors locked? They should have never been able to open that door like that. I understand that they broke a window, but one of them reaching for that lock to unlock that door is your chance to cut them in the arm, right? As soon as these other fools start getting stabbed up, they're going to want to drop out of this shit. And unfortunately, sometimes it be like that. First of all, shout out to Nephew for even surviving this shit, right? Hindsight's always 20/20. But man, him screaming, "Drive, Uncle, drive!" Yeah, that's not helping his case, man. Like, sometimes it is time to let the rage out because you might literally not survive if you don't. You need to scare some of these fools away. Damn.
Uncle, drive!
And also right here at this point, when I first saw this, when he leans forward and he's like, "Uncle, drive," I was already thinking, yo, at this point, you might want to put your knife up to Uncle's throat and be like, "Drive, motherfucker. It's time to play GTA." And that is wild to me. I really thought when I first saw this, when he leans up here, I really thought he might have to threaten Uncle to start driving because dude is just sitting there. What is Uncle thinking right now? He's got to be seeing all this shit in his rearview mirror. He's got to have his head turned. He's got to be looking. He sees all this shit. They're trying to kill your nephew, bro.
Drive, Uncle!
And then look at this. Look how slow. Look how slow Uncle starts driving. He can't even put his foot down on the gas pedal. This car is just coasting right now. All this screaming, all this "Uncle, drive, Uncle, drive." And all he does is take his foot off the brake. Right? I don't even think he's giving it gas yet.
Oh my God.
Uncle, drive!
God,
Drive, Uncle,
Holy
please!
shit.
Please.
And then, yeah, obviously check how many wounds you got, because damn, where to? You might be going to the hospital, bro.
Please. Please.
Please
My
what?
car is everything broke, my friend.
Uncle.
My friend, everything broke.
Yeah, it sounds kind of like an Italian accent. I don't know, but man, Uncle is just straight dunce. What do you think, man? Do you think Uncle set him up? Or do you just honestly think Uncle is that stupid and has that low of a survival score, man? I think I think part of this is Nephew's fault. He should have known. If this is your uncle, you know he's like this. You had to at least have had an idea. You would have been better off calling an Uber if you knew the heat was around. If you knew there was some fools out there trying to poke you up, which it looks like Nephew did, right? He already had the knife on him. You don't really see Nephew pulling the blade out. He already had that shit on him. So he had to have known something was coming. So why you would call Uncle to give you a ride? I mean, you got cash, bro. You could have paid an Uber, right? I mean, you could have called some of your homies to give you a ride that's not Uncle. And this is what I'm talking about. If you're out there putting in any sort of work at all, boys, you know who you are, okay? You really need to stop and think about the people that you're surrounding yourself with. They cannot be people like Uncle here. As a matter of fact, your best bet is probably to leave family out of it, man. Right? Look how easy of a target Uncle would be. Damn. Now, this is just absolutely wild. Yeah, I want to know what your take is, though. You think Uncle set him up? Because a lot of people in the comments sure seem to think that he did. Other thing is, too, man, I mean, there's a lot of things here. This is just mind-blowing, right? So leave me a comment. Let me know. This is the first time I've seen this. Maybe it's been going around for a while now, but this really just got me thinking about a lot of shit. And of course, hindsight's always 20/20. We do got to give nephew Raul here some credit for even reacting, because look, there are some people that would have just sat there and froze up and pissed themselves. And it could have been nephew here, because look, he's related to Uncle, obviously, right? Uncle's one of these people that would have just sat there and pissed himself and said, oh, no, no, no. So at least nephew has some sort of reaction here, because uncle clearly didn't. So does it run in the family? Yeah, obviously not. Now at the same time, nephew could have done a lot of things different, a lot of things better, but I've been there myself. It's really hard to think of this shit on the spot. Right? When crazy shit's happening in front of you and there's people trying to kill you, you're only thinking in the right now and then. It's hard for a lot of people to think about, okay, what's going to happen 10 minutes from now if I do this or do that, and then the cops show up. Like, am I surviving today just to die in prison tomorrow? A lot of people cannot think that far ahead, and that makes perfect sense, because once all the adrenaline kicks in and all the chemicals get dumped in your brain, right? Yeah, it is what it is. So let's at least give nephew some credit here just for surviving this. And I mean, he looks like he got cut and stabbed up probably about 7 times. Man, he could have had a punctured lung from this, because some of them little cuts, they look like they were going around the back rib cage there. You can see he got cut and stabbed in the shoulder and in the arm. We wish you the best, nephew. Right? At least you had some reflexes, but you got to find a different driver than uncle. I wouldn't have gave uncle shit, to be perfectly honest with you. You're worried about your effing car. You got insurance, right? He didn't stop to ask if nephew was even okay. Where are we going? You're obviously going to the hospital, bro. Man, this is wild. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of this, what you would have done, and if you think that uncle is a traitor, because, man, I don't even know. I honestly, looking at this, I've watched this a bunch of times now. I don't even know. I don't even know if I'd bet on it. It's like a 50-50 that either uncle is a traitor or he's just that stupid. Either way, you wouldn't want to bet on it, right? You would not want uncle in your corner if any shit was happening at all. And that is the moral of the story. For anybody that's putting in work out there, you might want to think about the people that you surround yourself with. Probably leave family out of it. And that's all I'm going to say. Have an awesome day.